Hey guys! Today I'm trying out the recently changed features as well as making a guide for Holland into Netherlands. I'm talking about expand infrastructure, centralized states, and the Marines force limit. Expand infrastructure costs 50 admin, which in the early game I think is a lot, but I'm gonna use it nonetheless to test it. Early game as Holland is fairly easy. Religious diplomat privilege helps you to easily ask independence from all Burgundy's rivals. In my game I had France, England, and Venice, so the war was trivial. Just need to wait a little behind your fort until the cavalry arrives. For expansion you should take Bruges if it's not occupied by England, and Antwerpen, then whatever the AE allows from Brabant and Flanders. I was a little unlucky because I got PU'd by France right after, but I got saved by Pretenders Rebels. That gave me a 4-3-5, which is pretty good. Once you are independent, you can try to become the HRE Emperor if you like the gameplay. It's a cool idea because when you form the Netherlands, if you're not Emperor or Elector, you will leave the HRE. If you don't get to be Emperor, try to conquer all the Lowlands province before forming the Netherlands. In terms of ideas, Holland is built for tall gameplay, thus innovative can be a strong pick, but economy is super strong because of the dev cost reduction that combines with your national ideas and all the goods you have in your provinces. I also love trade because you will just siphon all the trade in the channel once you get a little bigger and make some ships. If you want to play the colonial game, I think you should wait a little before taking either exploration or expansion, because you are a little far from both Africa and your new world. I'm taking trade ideas first to play with a ridiculous income in the early game. Your provinces are super high dev, and with the expand infrastructure you have a lot of building slots, so you should build barracks, workshops and temples everywhere. Continuously build light ships to protect trade in the channel, and conquer the trade centers, and you'll soon have a stupid income. With it, you can of course have good advisors and gain a lot of mana points, but you can also have your armies either fighting rebels or drilling at all time. You also don't need to mothball your forts, so your army tradition stays a bit high. Obviously build marketplace in all trade centers when you can. Once you get good provinces like Amsterdam to 30 dev, you can expand infrastructure a second time and upgrade the trade center to level 3. With enough light ships, you can make a flagship. Heavy, just in case your ships are attacked by England or Denmark at some point. I recommend trade power per ship, fleet engagement width, and fleet moral, which is stronger than usual for Dutch countries. Whenever you can, take building requests from estates to gain some free dev. You can upgrade your Gret project in Amsterdam, Dutch polders, to gain some goods produce modifier to improve your already busted income. It's a little cheaper with expand infrastructure. You'll soon become in the top 5 income while having relatively low total dev compared to big countries like Ottomans or Castile. Expanding infrastructure augment the governing costs of your province, so building courthouse once you hit admin tech 8 is a good idea to counteract the cost. With your absurd income, you'll even be able to diplo-vassalize small countries in the HRE. Abuse this before you leave the HRE. Once you get the 4th national IDs, you get plus 25 Marines force limit. They are designed to be used in transport ships to move between colonies and do naval invasions, because they don't take crossing penalties, disembark 3 times faster, but takes a little more shock damage. They use sailors instead of manpower. With your newly upgraded limits, you can use them even in your regular armies to save some manpower or have more units to play in colony gameplay. So as we said, once you form Netherlands, you leave the HRE if you're not Emperor or Elector. You get a cool new nation tree, but apart from that, not much changes right away, because your ideas are the same. But soon enough, you'll get the event to choose if you want to switch to Dutch Republic government. If you're not HRE Emperor, you should definitely take it, because it gives very good bonuses, the government itself, and the statist oranges mechanic too. At first, I think you should go with statist to improve your republican tradition, then try to have a good orangist, because once they are in power, they stay for life. Finishing eco ideas will allow you to dev your provinces for very cheap. Don't forget to put encourage development edict before doing it. So while I was doing the run, I found out that the expand infrastructure is currently bugged. Once you form another country, all your provinces lose the expansions. I tested this by forming Prussia, and it does the same thing. So for the moment, you should wait before forming Netherlands before using it. I hope it's not intended, because it makes no sense and will be get fixed soon. A little later in the game, when you have some spare reform progress and get close to the government capacity limit, you can use the centralized state. In states where you have a lot of debt, it will help you reduce that state's governing cost, as well as some other small bonuses. In terms of religion, Catholics have received so much buffs in 1.30 and 32 updates, so you don't need to switch Protestant or Reformed anymore. I still like Reformed because of the trade fervent focus that combines even more with the trade income gameplay. You also get 3 tolerance on heretics super easily, so you never have to handle religion in Europe. So later in the game, you can begin colonization. Like here, I own Calais, have Deep Tech 9 and 3 Explore ideas, and I can begin colonizing in Africa. I think the African route is a lot better than the New World for Netherlands, because not much of the New World can go into their channel. While Ivory Coast will receive all Africa, India, Southeast Indies and beyond trade. Once you unlock manufactories for goods and manpower, it's where the expand infrastructure really will shine. You'll be able to build both of them in most of your provinces. After this test run, I think that the bonuses are a little small and you should use your admin power to core province, take in your ideas and don't be late in tech before expanding infrastructure. It's still a nice addition that goes in the direction of making the toll gameplay more enjoyable, and I like that. Before we leave, I tried to centralize states multiple times to see if it's possible to lower the governing cost to 0, but it only affects the development of the province and counteracts the expanded infrastructure percentage malus, but not the flat value. So if you stack enough bonuses, your provinces will cost only 15 per expansion you did. So here you go. It was a little bit of a rant about change feature combined with the Holland guide. Let me know in the comments if you like that concept, or would prefer separated videos for guides and new features. Anyway, thanks a lot for watching, and see you in the next one.